Welcome everybody to the seasonal diet, eating what our ancestors ate when they ate it like we were evolved to do. Aegopodium podagraria, or ground elder. So thank you guys for these questions. I'll continue to answer these as best as I can, as long as the channel is still small enough, because on the other channel now it's getting to be too much and I can't even see all the comments coming in. But thank you for the questions here. We're speaking about ground elder here. Not to be confused with elderberry, but it is in the same family. It's also in the same family of fennel, which I just released a video on earlier in the week, and these are all in the carrot family, actually. This is a wonderful plant native to Asia and mainland Europe, but now it has been brought and grows wild pretty much everywhere the European settlers migrated. They brought it with them because it is such a valuable plant. It's technically a weed though, and it is a quite invasive species, and it can be damaging to the native plants all around it. So it is a bit of a pest, but it does have a long history of positive and medicinal use in Europe. We have records of it going all the way back to ancient Rome and all the way till medieval England, and even closer into just a couple hundred years ago. It was mostly throughout the ages used as a herbal remedy to heal gout and arthritis. That's why it's called goutweed in some places, and any inflammation and pain of the joints. And they would boil it and wrap the herbs, the whole plant actually, they'd wrap it around whatever joint was inflamed or had some arthritis or whatever. There also has been some studies on this exact same thing showing success about it in the modern time, but that's not enough to be conclusive, as always. If you eat it at the right time, it's also used as a diuretic in history. Most of these things are used as a diuretic that makes you shit or piss, or it's supposed to clear the body of toxins or evil spirits or whatever the humans believed at the time. It's also a mild sedative, so it could have been potentially used in a sleep aid for ancient humans, or even as a natural anesthetic, or if a surgery or something like that needed to be done. But yeah, we don't know if it was used like that. Other than that, it can be just used for food. It's not a superfood of anything. I know I like to get on some rants and tangents about how special ancient foods were and how their diets were. The truth is, not every plant in nature is a superfood. Some of it is just a basic plant, and it has some vitamins and nutrients in it. This is one of them. So this has been mostly used throughout history for the taste. It's a bit lemony and sweet. In Europe, it's used in a lot of traditional desserts and yogurts and pastries and things like that. Also soups. If we go to the east into Asia, it's more used in stir fries or rice or things like that. But you can definitely eat this raw just as a snack while out walking. You can just pick it up and eat it raw. Don't do that though unless you have the help of an expert, because this is very, regular looking plant, and it can look like a lot of other deadly plants. It grows as early as February though, so this is one of the earliest plants to start sprouting, some places where you can eat it fresh, and it's one of the first herbs to be used after the long winter that our ancestors would have had in their spring diet. But in May to June, the leaves change and they actually have a laxative effect. So unless you want to shit your pants, you got to eat them before they start flowering in like June time, depending on where you are. I definitely don't eat it that much, and it's very difficult to find too, but I would eat it. Don't forget our ancestors, especially in the spring, they would have had a very hard time eating enough food. There just wasn't enough food around growing. They were running out of their winter stores. And not everything in nature has to be a dream food for medicinal and super nutritious value, right? Sometimes you're just hungry. This plant here is going to kill you, and this plant is not, so let's eat the one that's not. It doesn't have to be a superfood to be in the ancestral diet. Thankfully, most of us are not in that situation today where we're so hungry we're starving, but realize that our ancestors previously in time would have been, and it would have been very difficult to survive the winter and spring. They would have lost a lot of weight, and they would have taken basically anything that's edible, so this would be one of those plants.